joined by Maria Lopez, the head women's golf coach at Embry-Riddle. How you doing, coach?
Good. How are you, bud?
Good. So can you tell me, can you tell me, how did you know you wanted to become a college coach?
Oh, well, when I was 8 years old, I got to go to an LPGA tournament with my sister, Nancy Lopez.
Okay.
Not the Hall of Famer, but she's a Hall of Famer to me. And it's because of the Hall of Famer, Nancy Lopez. She mentored both of us in junior golf. And I'll never forget it. It was an Easter weekend, and my big sister, 16 years old, and myself and my parents let us go to a tournament in Orlando, and we got to hang out with the tour players. And I think it really motivated her and her plight in junior golf. And she had just gotten a new high school coach by the name of Jane Frost. And I don't know if, with you being in New England, if you
Mhm.
know the name, but she teaches in the Cape. But she kind of got her start as the coach at Pava Lopez High School in Daytona Beach, Florida. And watching her, how she coached my sister, how she coached that team to a state championship, how she taught them like they were humans, they weren't a result. She was very holistic in her approach. Of course, am I recognizing this at 10 years old? No, but am I liking how she's doing things? And then in turn, when she would help my sister, she would help me. And then my sister would pass her knowledge. And so at 8, I knew I wanted to play after my sister took me to my first tour event. And then getting to watch my sister and her high school team win a state championship and see how Jane Frost really impacted my sister, it planted a seed in the back of my head that one day I wanted to be a college coach. And I figured it would be way down the road after I was in the Hall of Fame and had a bunch of kids and president of the PTA and all these dreams and plans that I had, right? But I'm grateful. I mean, still the dream still came true, just on a different timeline.
So you've been coaching at Embry-Riddle since 2000. What has it been like coaching at Embry-Riddle, since 2000, about, the past 24 years?
Be 25 in November. I'm
Oh,
not
wow.
old enough. I'm not old enough to be there for 25 years. It is fantastic. Truly, every dream in my heart has essentially come true. To get to play for 7 years, to get to start the team. I started the team in 2000, and then the following year, I was put in charge of academic enhancement for 250 student athletes. 30 tutors. And what was neat is Sports Illustrated did a little blurb about us having
Okay.
a 3.25 GPA for 250 student athletes. And I can tell you for the last 20 years, we've continued on that trend where our GPA is 10% higher than the currently enrolled students. So the type of student and the type of student athlete we get at Embry-Riddle, it's phenomenal. They're passionate about our academics, they're passionate about golf, and they're passionate about being a good community person. And we call that the package: student, person, player. And for about 15 years, I coached on the LPGA some after my playing time. And to hear stories of my peers or my students say, oh, I won conference as a freshman and I had to not be an engineer anymore, that broke my heart. Your academic dreams and path, there's no reason why sport and academics can't go together. And I understand in some environments it can't, but being at Embry-Riddle and getting to create an environment that fosters the total package, to have somebody go and be a engineer for NASA, or apply for the astronaut program, or be an entrepreneur and be a chocolatier and a professional photographer, um, making low level orbit aircraft for different companies, doing research in the medical industry. I love that. I love that golf equipped them with the discipline and the perspective and the skills to go enhance their other gifting academically. So Embry-Riddle's a perfect fit for me. I never thought that I would come home after playing. I never thought that I would be here, but it's worked out better than I ever could have imagined.
Nice. So coach, what has it been like, for you as coach to see your team? They played in 14 national championships and they finished runner-up in, the 2008 and 2011 national championships. So what is it like, seeing your team have so much success throughout your coaching, career at Embry-Riddle?
It has been a journey, and we talk about honoring the legacy, right? So my first we got to go backwards. Before we talk about that, we got to talk about a little bit where we started. Started with one scholarship and $6,000 in operating budget. And I looked at the athletic director at the time, who's become a mentor and a friend. He's since retired from being AD. He's still our men's basketball coach, Coach Ritter. And I said, so is there going to be room for this to grow? Like, how do we, where do we take this from? And I have to start a team in 6 months. So I was able to find 3 students to put on that one first scholarship, right? And then there were some players from the women's soccer team who had just started, but they played golf in high school. And then I'm going to the dorms and I'm going to the different colleges on campus, to the engineering and the College of Business, and saying, anybody play golf in high school? You want to be a part of something special? You want to help build a legacy? And so we were able to get 9 players that first year.
Okay.
Only 3 that played competitive junior tournaments, but we had like 4 or 5 that played in high school that might have been 1, 2, or 4 years ago. But the drive to build something special, right? To take the package to be excellent students and excellent people and to really grow in golf. And we just, in our first year, we just missed getting to nationals.
Oh, wow.
You had to be ranked in the top 25 in golf stat at the time. And we were just on the outside looking in our first year. And we played Stanford University in our first year. A friend of mine was the coach there at the time, and they were unable to make it to the national preview. And they said, hey, I'd like for you to spend a little time with my team, help them set up the golf course. Some of them are going to be going to Q school, and just to help us be ready for nationals. And I said, Caroline, that's great. You guys are ranked number 1 in the country, and we're a brand new team. Like, this is going to be ugly. You're probably going to beat us by over 100 shots. And she's like, it's 2 great academic institutions. I know you're going to make a great golf program there. Let's make it fun for the players, impart your wisdom, share your knowledge with them, and let's go have a good day. And we made such a good day of it. They only beat us by 92 shots.
Okay.
So we kept it within 100, which was great. But then what we did is we also made it an exhibition match play, and we paired up a Stanford player with an Embry-Riddle player. So if I think about it, at that time, they had a future U.S. Open champion, U.S. Amateur champion, 3 or 4 future LPGA Tour players. I mean, they were good, right?
Mm-hmm.
It so inspired my team. They're like, Coach, we hit it the same distance. I said, you do? I hit it a little more crooked. Yeah, you do. I can get that better. And it really inspired to say, you know what? I want to try and catch them. I haven't had the time that they've had. And they were so gracious to us. And they were also just in awe of, we had 2 people that were pilots. We had a couple of people in communications and finance and what they were going to be going and doing in industry. And so it was really special. And some of those players are still in touch to this day. And in fact, one of those players helped me complete my master's in human factors and systems engineering. She connected me with one of her professors out at Stanford that was a mentor for me and helped me with some of my research. So golf is a beautiful thing where it can connect people, right? And And so it's been neat to see the program go from getting beat by Stanford by 90 some shots, averaging 364, right? For the year. We averaged 364, I think, that first year. And then to go and have 7 conference championships in 14 years, to only finish outside of the top 10 at the national championship, I think like 3 times. We just really leaned into the process, not necessarily results. Like we were striving for a championship, and the girls would tell me, we want a ring, we want the bling and whatever, but really to teach them, okay, the everyday little things lead to the big thing, and to see where those skills and those attributes have helped them in their life and with their families and their career. And then to see the program where in the last 5 years, we keep breaking as we've transitioned into NCAA Division II, to be able to grow the competition and go up next level. I couldn't have written it any better. I mean, you know, to get my LPGA Class A here, my master's, I'm 6 classes short of my PhD, 100% graduation rate. It's just really fun.
Nice.
Super grateful. And each generation of team, they look at respect and awe of what was done before them, and they say, we want to honor that legacy, and we want to maintain that and grow it and take it next level. And I can tell you, every team has leaned into that, and so that's a lot of fun for me.
Nice, that's amazing. So what has it meant to you to be named National Coach of the Year twice, throughout your career?
Unbelievable. It's about my players, that they have the buy-in. If they don't have the buy-in and they don't help shape the vision, then it doesn't matter. In the first time when I received that award, the banquet was actually here in town during one of the national events for the LPGA, because the LPGA is located in Daytona Beach, Florida, in the same area as our campus. And to get to have my chancellor, my athletic director, my team get to come, because really it's about them. Start to get a little emotional. My parents got to come. Just fast forward, not long after that, my father passed away. And to have an NAIA coach, a small coach, get that award. I mean, we're talking about Beans Kelly, Linda Volstadt. I think you got to interview Kelly Hester, Heather Bowie, and what they've done at Clemson. And it's an honor, to be people to take a look and say, got a bunch of engineers and financial analysts and attorneys going out and playing some good golf and contending for championships, and means a lot to have that recognized.
Yeah, nice. That's awesome, and congrats on that.
Thank you.
So tell me about, you served as president of the NAIA Women's Golf Coaches Association. Tell me about serving as president, and what did you do as president?
The NAIA at the time was really about basketball and football, right? Even though it's older than the NCAA, and I love the mission of what the NAIA was about. It's about champions of character, respect, responsibility, servant leadership, and really trying to foster that. But their organization and system for golf was not strong. And so to come from a tour background, and basically I ran tournaments for a living at LPGA International in my transition year from playing to coaching, and to kind of help shape procedure and how national championships should be run and how the rating and ranking system should be done. We had an amazing team of other coaches, because so many golf coaches don't have a golf experience. They didn't play in college, or they didn't grow up around the game, and they're passionate around the game, and they do a good job managing. I don't think you have to be an elite player or an elite teacher to be a great coach. I think you just have to be an elite person and a good manager of people and a good organizer. But there wasn't a lot of that structure and that understanding, and it was a bit of an afterthought. And I'd like to think that we left the association better than we found it. And some of the quality of golf that's coming out of the NAIA has been strong for decades. So, they're to see where the national championships are being hosted for the NAIA at TPC, Deer Valley, PGA National. Man, that was a tremendous struggle during my years to even get a consistent golf course that was appropriately set up. And towards the end of my tenure, that improved, but that wasn't about me. That was about the other coaches and institutions recognizing, we should have the same quality championship as track or football and basketball. And so it was a great experience. A little bit of an exercise in frustration and having to educate up, but had great administrative support for that.
So Coach Lopez, let's now, get into your start in golf. So, tell me where you grew up, how you got started playing golf, and just tell me about any early, golfing memories you have, growing up.
Well, I was born in Daytona Beach and grew up in Ormond Beach. And my home course and the home course for my team is Oceanside Country Club. So getting to walk around there and watch the Sally, which is the longest running women's championship, let alone any championship at a single location, I think for over 95 years, had a tremendous impact on me. And that golf course along the ocean, the wind is different every day. The green speeds are different every day. And my dad would play twice a week. He was in the restaurant business and real estate business, and he worked a lot. And what we did as a family and to spend time with him was we played golf. We golfed, we hunted, we fished. Whenever he had the time, wherever he went, we wanted to be because he was just a cool dude and a loving guy. And my mom, she's just awesome and a great support system. To this day, she's the adopted teen grandma of our team. Everybody loves Mama Dora. I came along a little bit as a surprise. My brother was 12 and my sister was 8, and then came me. So I got to play my first tournament when I was 3 years old because they were right in the middle of junior golf. My first tournament was the International Pee Wee at Disney World. So the big kids teed off, and then they took us little kids, right, and set up 3 holes on the driving range and let us try not to kill each other out there. And then when the big kids got done, we all got to go to Disney World and have Coca-Colas and hang out with our family. Who's not going to fall in love with golf doing that, right? Getting to be with my parents and my siblings and just trying to keep up with the bigger kids. And then, progressing through Volusia Flagler Junior Golf Association and some of the touring pros that we had in town, Pat Myers, and then Jane Frost as a teacher. She became one of the key curriculum educators for the LPGA professional side of the house, the teaching division. And to get to have the LPGA in town, my sister and I, we represented junior golf and spoke on behalf of the area to recruit the LPGA from Texas to Florida back in the 80s. And so just golf is just our life, right? It's just something that we've done as a family, and it's taken me all over the world, and super grateful for that.
So then, you played at Alabama for college. So tell me about your college career at Alabama, and how was your time at Alabama?
Roll Tide. Best years of my life. Well, I consider every day the best day of your life. Try and go through life with gratitude, but it really shaped me. It was tough. I went away to college at 17. I was recruited walk-on, but I was hungry and excited to find my way, make my make my own way. You know, being the younger sibling here in town, wanted a fresh start and go make a name for myself. And that's where I got the name Loopy, from my RA. Said I was the nuttiest Fruit Loop in the bunch
Okay.
and funnest Fruit Loop in the bunch. And some people, oh yeah, Loopy Lopez, Loopy D. And it just stuck. And it's just, Alabama completed the circle of me. I found my faith walk there. It really helped shape my what and my why. And that's what we talk about within our program. What do you want? Why are you here? And what are the steps to build it? And so I love the University of Alabama and everything that I learned there. And being a recruited walk-on, nothing was given. You know, you had to, the work ethic that it instilled in me, and then the confidence and the resilience of still maintaining the faith no matter what the outcome is, really equipped me for my professional years.
So then after Alabama, you played professionally, beginning, you played on the Futures Tour beginning in 1993. So, just tell me about your professional career and tell me about, beginning, playing on the Futures Tour in 1993.
Getting to play the Futures was a dream come true for me. Since age 8 that's what I wanted to do. And my parents were a big proponent of education. With them having my mom had a 6th grade education and my father had an 8th grade education when they immigrated from Cuba to the States.
Okay.
And so they emphasized education. And they said, you can go and you can have whatever dream and whatever business and you want to go play the tour, that's fine. But your education, you finish that, you get that strong, you equip, you learn from the best of the best, and then you apply yourself. And so I leaned into it. In those first couple of years, I played in 14 countries in about a year and a half. I was a little bit of a late bloomer. I was behind. I needed to make up time and get experience. There's a lot more people with a deeper pedigree than what I had. And so I played Europe, I played Asia, I played Australia, I'd play anywhere you'd say, hey, we're going to put money on the line. Okay, let's go. I several times driving to Orlando just to get the experience, just to get the confidence, just to become a better putter, a better course manager. How do you get better in competition? Be in competition. And then, you got to work your hind parts off on the other side. And so I really had a passion to explore and grow. And I did it. I had a little nest egg that I played off of $40,000 that I had saved and basically lived off of that for 7 years, make a little money, put it back in the kitty, work side jobs. I had a yardage book business that we had no yardage books on tour. Like, how do you not have yardage books? So I just started making my own yardage books, and some of my friends would be like, hey, can I get a copy? And I'm like, you know what, we're gonna support this a bit, and then we're gonna support a charity, and then it's gonna help pay my entry fees at the same time. And so Betty Pushkar Cancer Center in Morgantown, West Virginia, I would give a percentage of my proceeds to that. And that was just another way to provide a resource that we didn't have. And then unfortunately I was in a car accident that was going to have a second surgery and my 3rd trip through rehab, and just my body was done. Just and the changing in my heart, it was like, okay, it's time to go coach. And I was a finalist for a couple of SEC jobs, didn't get it, and then got the job at an Ivy League school, but they weren't ready to make that a full-time position, so I couldn't afford to take it.
Okay.
And then I just happened to get through on a phone call to the AD at Riddle at the time. One of my friends from Bama started the volleyball program at Embry-Riddle, and so I had been to some of the games, and I had gotten to know Coach Ritter, and I said, you need some help with your men's team, or do you think you'll ever start a women's team? And he said, the board voted this week to start women's golf in 6 months to a year. You want in? And I'm like, let's go. So it was, it's neat how that all kind of fell into place.
Definitely. So you're also an LPGA teaching professional. Tell me about being an LPGA teaching professional And also tell me, how did you become a teaching professional?
It's my sister's fault.
Okay.
She had been on me for years. Even when I started playing, she's like, you need to get additional education. You have a really good understanding of the game, get some more formal training. And I'm like, I'm gonna play, leave me alone. And then realizing to do anything really in coaching or the golf industry, even though having good um, real life experience, still there's other things where you need to learn and to grow. And so for me, my dream to be a player, my dream to be a coach, but another dream that I hadn't shared with you was higher education and to get those advanced degrees and certification and knowledge. Because for me, I'm learning and testing disabled. I really struggled through school. And my sister, my hero, mentor, she recognized that I was having challenges that she wasn't, because she was the perfect daughter and National Honor Society and all the things. And we discovered some things with dyslexia and reading comprehension. And so then I just leaned into it. I don't want to be beholden or less than anything. How do I improve those skills? How do I attack it? And so, I'm 6 classes from my PhD. Took me 10 years to get my master's because I had to start and stop, and I had to learn different ways to achieve the goals that I wanted to achieve. And I'm just hungry. Even to this day, I'm hungry, thirsty. You got a different way to look at something. Why are they doing, just always wanting to know why and like how the sausage is made. How do you put all those pieces together? I've always been a nerd and geeky that way. And then to be able to find a system and a style for me to excel and have a better understanding, I've just leaned into every educational opportunity that I can, from TPI certification to K-Vest, K-Coach, K-Trainer, whatever they're naming it, that technology, whatever the name has become. And now leaning into Flight Scope and other launch monitor technologies and learning from that. And the LPGA is such a great education base. I mean, they really teach you how to be a great teacher, how to be a great business person, how to be a great coach, to get to learn from P.N. Nilsson and Lynn Marriott, Linda Volstadt, did coaching seminars as I was coming up, and so much talent. And to be a part of a tribe of women investing and learning and growing and leading, pretty cool. And it's just in my backyard.
Nice. So finally, coach, what do you enjoy most about being a head coach? And, what do you enjoy most about, being the head coach, especially at Embry-Riddle?
My students don't have to sacrifice their academic dreams and goals, right? I get to use golf as a way to equip them for their purpose and their calling. And just to be a shepherd, I guess, a mentor, a support. I love holding space, and I love puzzles. Like how do you figure out to get from A to B, and how do you have the most fun doing it? So it's just something that's always been on my heart, and a calling to use the sport to equip our next leaders and to continue to see the difference we can make in the world through our really cool sport, because it teaches you grit and resilience and toughness and how to make good decisions, and I love it.